What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn. Get this. Chris Eubank Jr. and discussion to face Conor Benn at a new weight. Okay, of course, we know that they were supposed to fight before, but in a recent interview with Sky Sports, Conor Benn revealed that he is in negotiations to face Chris Eubank Jr. The potential bout is shaping up to be one of the most significant in British boxing history. Okay, the fight between Benn and Eubank was originally scheduled for 2022. We know what happened, okay? And early this November, the Independent National Anti-Doping Panel lifted Benn's suspension, okay, concluding that the UCAD could not prove his guilt. Okay. And in an interview, Conor Benn said that I believe negotiations have started. It's been very turbulent in terms of me going through what I was going through in terms of the legal case. But now that that's clear, negotiations are on the way, Benn stated. He said, it's one of the biggest British domestic fights in history. I don't think two fathers and two sons have ever fought like this. It's about history. It's about legacy, okay? Benn said. He said that we are moving closer to a deal. That's what Ben Shalom said. And Chris wants the fight next. And I believe that Conor does too. And the fight is there to be made. There are positive talks. And assuming Con gets his license back, it should happen next, okay? Now, it's important to note that Chris Eubank Jr. has regularly competed at middleweight at 160, okay? And Eubank's last fight against Kamal Zerameta on October 12th, 2024, on the same card as Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol for his title. Eubank Jr. weighed in at 159.12 pounds. Okay, in contrast, Conor Benn typically competes in the welterweight category, 147. His last fight was against Peter Dobson in February of 2024. For that bout, Benn weighed in at 150.6. Okay, now Benn has indicated that he is willing to concede privileges to Eubank Jr., such as entering the ring second and billing the fight as Eubank Benn. You can have Eubank Benn. You can have the home corner. I'm not petty about all that, Benn stated. However, Benn made it certain personal demands for the weight. No three knockdown rule, 18-foot ring. Give me all of that, okay, because he's the smaller fighter. Tommy Sims, Benn's trainer, confirmed that negotiations are progressing and noted that Conor Benn is better prepared now than 2 years ago, while the 35-year-old Chris Eubank Jr. might face disadvantages due to his age. He says, we're hoping it's going to be the Eubank fight. If the fight does get made, he'll go straight into that, okay? Okay, so if the fight with Eubank Jr. does not materialize, Benn has a backup plan, of course. They always do. This includes a potential fight against Mario Barrios for the WBC world title at 147. That would be dope. Hopefully, we can make the Barrios fight if it isn't Eubank Jr. next. Barrios for the WBC world title, February or March. I'm just excited to be back. If finalized, the fight between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. promises to be a historic event. Okay. And that's really all it said. Okay. Now, me counterpunching this article, it's a bunch of shit. Yeah, we talked about the 18-foot ring. He can go out Eubank Benn, but we didn't talk about what Conor was willing to do, because you remember it was supposed to have been Eubank, I think, coming in at 157, right? Because he was a middleweight, Conor was the welterweight, and they supposed to meet in the middle. Well, this here doesn't show him saying that I'll do or I won't do anything, right? So I don't really get none of this. how and what it's going to be, because Ben had, Conor Benn weighed at 153 pounds, almost 154 pounds at super welterweight. Okay. So privileges don't mean weight. Privileges just means privileges. So it has to be put in stone. So my guess on this fight, people, don't hold your breath. Is it good for rivalry, family? Probably so. But domestically, absolutely. But understand, these guys are too far apart in age and in weight. Not saying I don't want to see it, and I'm not being pessimistic. I'm being realistic. Okay, because when you have Conor Benn, he came in, at the latest 150, and then Chris Eubank 159 point whatever, 155. It's going to be something like that. It's got to be a catch weight. You shouldn't expect Conor to go up there, and you shouldn't expect Chris Eubank Jr. to go down that far. You know what I mean? That's just ridiculous. They have to meet in the middle if it gets made. However, talking about another possible fight, Mario Barrios. Okay, that fight he had with what was his name? I can't remember his name, but it was one hell of a fight. And a lot of people thought that Barrios, didn't win it, because they had 2 knockdowns. I'm going to look it up because I know people are in the comments, hey, it's this guy, okay, so his last fight was against there we go. So it was against Ramos, or should I say Ramos, right? So it was against Ramos. And who did he get beat by? Oh, he got beat by Keith Thurman. That is right. So, all right. So I would love to see Conor Benn against someone like Mario Barrios. That would be dope. And it's for a title. And it's at his weight class. I think that's realistic. Let Eddie Hearn work his magic and get that fight done for you. Because, again, backup fights are Eddie Hearn's, cup of tea, right? So I think that would be a good fight for him to make versus the Chris Eubank Jr. fight. And I know Chris is getting older, and I know he wants that dough. But at the end of the day, some of those fights are going to have to wait. You know what I mean? Like, it's already waited long enough due to unforeseen circumstances. So it may wait a while for that fight. Because in this article, it tells me nothing. Now, this is what you call clickbait. My apologies, right? But no, I see Conor Benn up against someone like Mario Barrios in a banger. I don't care where it's at, the UK, Texas, I don't care, as long as that happens and as long as that's the primary backup. But you guys tell me what you think of this article that Conor Benn will concede to certain concessions in fighting Chris Eubank Jr. Didn't specify on the weight, though. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.